I just wanted to take a moment to explain a little bit more about Brunello and what makes it special. The town of Montalcino is interesting because it's a high altitude town and it has more than one what you would call microclimate. So even though you might think of Brunello as a uniform wine in the sense that it's made from 100% Sangiovese, the wines can be very, very different. And this is for the reason that some of them are in the north where it's a bit cooler, some are from the south where there's maybe a little more iron in the soil, a little more sun, a little more heat. So each one is really a unique wine. And the Sangiovese there it traditionally needed a little bit more time in barrel because of the firmness of the tannins and the acidity. So what they did more recently is they've allowed for the usage of smaller barrel. So in the past, the typical Brunello would spend 3 years in a large barrel, and then an additional year in bottle, and then released in the 5th year. And now they're able to leave the wines in smaller barrels for less time if they so desire, and then they still have to have the time in bottle before they're released. But it takes a long time to get to the market. And so when you have these small estates and you have wines of this pedigree and that are in barrel for that long, it does justify the price because the owners have to recoup the cost of having those wines sitting in barrel for several years. So if you think about it, you're not just developing the product and then getting it out into the market immediately. You're having to let that product rest for many years before you see the remuneration from it. So that's why you see this with Sangiovese from Montalcino, and you also see it with Nebbiolo from Barolo. These wines are special. They come from very small geographic areas, and they're expensive to make. So just wanted to give you a little bit more information about why the wines are what they are, why they're priced the way they are, and the fact that these wines are meant to be taken a little more seriously. They do get better with age, and generally speaking, they need time in the cellar. And thankfully, we have the 2015 vintage with this ripe fruit. So if we want to drink them now, we can, or we can age them.